June 29th in the year 2000, one of the greatest games of the new millennium came out. That was Jet Grind Radio for the Sega Dreamcast. Remember? $99.99. One of the most underrated video game consoles of all time. One of the most underappreciated video games of all time. Now, I was 20 years old when this game launched, and what made this game so special was the actual gameplay. You see, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I actually skated semi-professionally. Inline skate, which is what was featured in Jet Grind Radio, developed by Sega. Now, one fun little fact about this game, cell shading is something that is pretty common in video games today. In fact, pretty much all through the 2000s, cell shading was very popular, but Jet Grind Radio was the very first game to feature cell-shaded graphics. A lot of people didn't know that. But this is not why we're here today. We are here to celebrate, I can't believe I'm saying this, the 25th anniversary of Jet Grind Radio. And what better way to do it than with a partnership by Them Skates. If you are unfamiliar with Them Skates, don't worry, we're about to open this baby up and I'm about to familiarize you with it. Again, I skated, professionally back through the mid-late 90s, a little in the early 2000s, lots of competitions, lots of broken bones, lots of casts. But as I got a little older, my days in the old fruit boots slowly started to decline. I haven't spent a lot of time on skates, especially in the last 20 years probably, but we got these. This here is a 25th anniversary collaboration with Sega, as you can see, Jet Grind Radio, and Them Skates. Them Skates is I believe a Southern California skate company. There's not a whole lot of inline skate companies left these days, although there is still a small pocket, I'm finding out, of inline skaters out there who are still doing it. Unfortunately, it's not as popular as it used to be, but when I saw these things, man, I just couldn't help myself. I haven't bought myself a pair of skates in a very long time, so I decided to treat myself today. We're gonna open them up, we're gonna look. And I know what you're thinking, you probably didn't really skate, right? Well, once we open these skates up, there's one more place we gotta go. We're gonna have to find a place to skate so I can try them out. All right, here we go. Look at these babies, wow. Let's just go ahead and take these things right on out of the box. We are going to look in here and see exactly what else this comes with. We get a skate tool. This will pop your bearings out. It'll also take your wheels off if you're unfamiliar with that. It's an Allen key, hex key. And of course, it does come with a 25th anniversary Jet Set Radio pin, which is super cool. So even though I love this box, Them Skates, you guys really killed it on the box. You nailed the aesthetic. We're gonna set the box to the side for now. And we're gonna look at what really matters. If you've never done any inline skating, don't worry. I'm here to tell you all about it. And maybe if you watch long enough, you'll see me hurt myself. This is Them Skates. And again, 25th anniversary. This is, again, I haven't bought myself a pair of skates in a very long time. I'm trying to think of what the last pair of skates that I actually purchased for myself was. And it may have been a pair of K2s, maybe Fatty Pros. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look, but it's definitely been a very long time. It's been at least 20 years, probably more than 20 years. So I really haven't looked at, at skates in a very long time, and I see that they have definitely come a long way. Again, these are the 25th anniversary Jet Set Radio inline skates. If you played the game, you know exactly what it was about. It was a super counterculture. It was actually the Japanese developers' answer to the, it's like the counterculture of what was happening in the late 90s. So these things feature an all-new 901 shell. One of the issues that I used to have with my skates back in the day when I skated in the late 90s is after long enough, the top of your cuff, the rivet here, would break out. I can't tell you how many times I was, doing like a Royale grind or something, putting a lot of pressure on my ankles and have the cuff just completely break off. Or worse, I was going for, like just a good old-fashioned soul grind, and my boot would slip off the rail or the curb and whack, hit my clip, and then, rip the clip off. But as you can see here, we have like a guard. We have a clip guard, which is super cool. And also, again, like I said, these are the 901 shells, so they're nice and soft, but also very sturdy. They are saying this is an all-new anti-rocker frame. These are terms that I haven't heard in a very long time, so bear with me here. But if I do believe anti-rocker frame means that the two center wheels are actually lower than the outside wheels. Because back when I used to skate, we didn't use the same size wheels on the entire skate or on the entire frame. We would use larger wheels on the outside and then what we would call anti-rocker wheels on the inside, which were small, little tiny, small, hard wheels. And the only wheels that would catch on the ground were the outside wheels. And most of that was because early on in the mid-90s, skates were not designed to do grinds. They were designed to, like go fast or whatever they were designed for. Whatever you were designing skates for, rollerblade and Rosies. So us skaters, we started putting these small hard wheels on the inside. That way when we would grind curbs, it wouldn't cause a lot of friction and, we get the most out of our grinds. But here's a good demonstration here. Take a look. If we put these flat on the table, you see that? You see how these center wheels still roll? That's an anti-rocker frame. That means these wheels don't touch the ground immediately if you're on a flat surface, which is great. But I can see here, unlike the skates that I used to skate with back in my day, there is a substantially larger space between the two center wheels. And there's already a cutout, a nice little groove on the boot and on the frame to, that way you don't have to break in your new frame. So that's cool. And it does say it has a stock liner. Let's take a look at the liner. I haven't looked at them skates recently. I would imagine they probably offer a few different liners. But let's take a look at the liner of this skate. Man, that is a nice boot. I do like that quite a bit. But here it is. This is, a pretty typical standard liner. If I were to decide to get back into skating, I probably would replace these liners with something that, you can do like a heat mold with. But we'll see how comfortable they are, because, I'm gonna get in them at the end of this video. Ooh, what do we got here? We have some special, get ready, street soldier. We got special insoles in these liners, which is cool. I like that. Going down the spec list, let's see what we got. Green cuff. Obviously, we've already gone over most of the boot. Yeah. But it is saying green cuff, which is cool. The thing about them skates and the thing about most inline skates these days, I would imagine, is the cuffs are replaceable. As you can see, we have, this isn't a rivet anymore. Like I was saying earlier, back in my day, these were rivets, and you hit them on curbs and stuff enough and you just grind the rivet off and the whole cuff pops off. But these are actually, these looks like, these are hex screws, and you could probably replace this whole cuff. So if you wanted to put like a white cuff on there or a black cuff, I would have to look on their site, but I would imagine they probably offer multiple cuffs. But why would you want to do that when you have Jet Set Radio on the back? That's just too cool. Black plastic buckle. It does say a plastic buckle, but it's definitely aluminum. Maybe they just mean like the actual buckle here is, again, it says black, which because I'm assuming them skates probably offer multiple colors in this buckle, but the black is a nice touch. It would be kind of cool to get like if they made like an orange or this color green buckle. Maybe put that on there, deck it out. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Who knows how much time I'll actually spend on these skates. We'll see. All right, the other thing that these new skates have that really skates were just starting to do when I sort of got out of skating and stopped skating due to too many injuries and, you know, other things in life, are sole plates, which is this here. This is a sole plate. Again, not super familiar with them because, you know, I was skating back in like 95 through 99 really were probably, well, not even 99, maybe 95 through 98 were my heavy years. And this was not a thing. If you're familiar with how to skate aggressive inline or street skate, this is where you would grind on the sole of your boot here, you know, like this. And on the old skates of the time, back in the 90s, that didn't have a lot of sole space here. And so you kind of had to like angle your boot over real far. And if you're on a curb, it wasn't always the greatest thing. Most of the time you would end up wearing a hole through your boot here. I don't know how many different skates I had that had, you know, holes in the boots. But they now offer sole plates, which looks like, as you can see down here at the bottom, you can pop these things off, maybe even get different colors. Like how cool would it be if you could get this darker green, like get a sole plate that color? That's pretty cool. So they do come with a very custom Jet Set Radio sole plate, if you can see those there. Very, very cool, very pretty looking sole plate. And then we have them wheels. So these are wheels that were made by them wheels or them skates. Back in my day, there was like, I don't know, what were the wheel companies? We had Senate making wheels. That was probably the most popular company. You know, maybe Cosmo, four or five other wheel manufacturers. These are 58 millimeter 90A wheels. You're probably wondering, what the hell does that mean? The millimeter is the actual size of the wheel. That's the dimension of the wheel. And the, was it 90? Yeah, the 90A is the hardness of the wheel. 90A, I would consider, like thinking back to my time, 90A is a pretty hard wheel. I used to skate, I think like 88s. That's a fairly soft wheel, or even like 80s sometimes, depending on what kind of skating you do. Obviously, if you're skating in a skate park or you're skating ramps a lot, the softer the wheel, the better it's gonna feel. The smoother the ride, the harder the wheel. You know, if you get in there with like, you know, 100A wheels on a ramp, as soon as you go sideways, the thing slides out. But when you're grinding, you know, when you're grinding rails or curbs or whatever, the harder the wheel. Usually, you know, early on when I was skating, the two center wheels were very hard wheels, smaller hard wheels, almost like a skateboard wheel. And those things were like, you know, well over 100 plus, because, you know, you don't want the friction when you're grinding on curbs and stuff. And last but not least, these wheels do have good old-fashioned ABAC 5 bearings. And, well, if you don't know about bearings, then there's no reason to explain that. But that is the type of bearing that is in this wheel. On an inline skate wheel, well, much like a skateboard wheel, you have two bearings. You got one on each side of the wheel. And that is the Jet Set Radio 25th anniversary Them Skate collaboration. I do believe as of the time of this recording, they are sold out. They went up for pre-order a couple months ago. That's when I saw them advertised. I'm not sure how Instagram knew to, like, maybe because the gaming, I guess, right? Like Instagram really knew, that algorithm really knew, like, this guy, born, like, lived through the 90s, possible skater, definitely loves games. Let's show him this. And so, yeah, that's how I got fed up. And then the second I saw them, I'm like, absolutely gonna buy them. I believe they were $299, so $300 when I pre-ordered them. And they actually didn't take that long to get. I think I had them within a couple of months, so not bad at all. But I'm looking at the website now, and it does look like every single size is unfortunately sold out. Whether or not they're going to re-offer these things, I don't know. I would imagine this was some sort of like limited edition, limited run thing. Now, they did offer a sticker set for these as well. That is Jet Set Radio themed, so you can stick all the stickers all over your skates to make it look even more, Jet Set Radio. But I personally, I'm gonna keep them nice and clean. But I am looking at the website now, and they do offer tons. They offer a bunch of different style. Wow, they offer a bunch of different style soles. Sole plates. They do offer, you can totally customize these things if you want. And also, if you want to get into skating and you're like, dang, I miss these, but these skates are really cool, you can buy a set of 901 blacks, which are the same skate, just in black, for $250, which I think it's like, pretty sure that's like the same price, if not maybe cheaper than skates were back in the 90s when I would skate, which is sort of wild when you think about it. I did a little bit of research, and it looks like John Julio is maybe the person in charge of them skates. If that's the case, like, what's up, dude? I used to skate with you back in the day, back in the late 90s. I wasn't contacted by anybody at them skates. I don't know anybody that I know of. And so these were not given to me. I purchased these things myself because they're just too damn cool. So this opinion is solely mine. No affiliate code or anything like that. I just really love the idea that two things that I love so dearly, being the Dreamcast and, all of its game library, and inline skating, have come full circle. Now, like, maybe we could talk to somebody here, maybe my dude Frankie, okay? And get some kind of reissue of Aggressive Inline. Anybody remember that game? That game was awesome. Frankie, you were in that game. In fact, I think Frankie has a game coming out. I need to check that out. Anyways, this is them, 25th anniversary. I can't believe it's been 25 years. So really, there's only one thing left to do. That is, we're gonna take these things out. We're gonna find a place to skate, and I'm gonna show my boys exactly what old dad is made of. Now, keep in mind, I haven't been on a pair of skates in a little while, and I certainly haven't been to any kind of skate park or anything like that in a very long time. But I got a brand new pair of skates, and I have to. Off on another adventure. This time, hopefully, it's not to the ER. Crosby found his skates. Wow, you actually gonna take those?
I bet there's probably spiders in them.
Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. I'll leave that up to you if you want to ride those. Leland has decided to take his one wheel. I don't even know where we're going yet. Maybe we'll find a skate park or something. All right, here we go. Off on another journey. But first, you guys hungry? Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. All right, guys. We're at our pit stop. Dad needs a little bit of fuel if he's gonna put himself back on some inline skates. Leland, you're looking a little peaked. Yeah. You got up a little too early again, didn't you? Smell that? Yeah. It smells like delicious In-N-Out burger, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You want some In-N-Out burger socks? Yeah. Okay. Now all we have to do is wait for our burgers. There's something delicious about the iced tea at In-N-Out burger. You know what the trick is? The trick is you take a couple of the lemons and you squeeze the lemons in the cup first with no ice, nothing, just all the way down at the bottom. Put the lemons in there, squeeze lemons, drop them in the bottom, then put the ice on top, and then the lemonade on top of it, and then mix it around. The ice holds the lemons down. Really good that way. I'm ready for my burger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Cheeseburger. Crosby. There you go. Gotta get a cheeseburger in me before I get on the skates. I mean, kind of have to get an In-N-Out cheeseburger in me all the time anyways. So now we eat, then we skate. Here we are. Do you think if you needed to, you could drive my truck?
What? No.
Well, I'm just thinking in case I break something, you know? Just kidding. I'm gonna be fine. I won't do anything too crazy. Leland does have his one wheel though. Yeah. You know, I might want to borrow your helmet when I skate for just a second.
Okay.
But we'll find out. Okay, I gotta admit, there's some youngsters here. I was kind of hoping that the skate park would be empty. Welcome to the Cummings Family Skate Park. It says bicycles are not permitted, and then there's like bicycles in here. Leland's already over here skating, or one-wheeling, I guess. All right. Are you guys worried for me? Or do you have faith in Dad? You have a little faith? Okay. They do feel nice. Boy. Oh, it's been a minute. Okay, Cross, your job is gonna be to film. Leland's gonna be riding around. You think you can handle that? Okay, dude, I've got my skates on. These kids are looking at me like, what the hell is this old man gonna do? This will be cool. Well, first step is to see if I can actually skate on them. Ready? Leland's gonna take control of the camera here. All right, dude. You ready? Oh. I don't know, man. It's been a long time. Ooh. I don't have the lung capacity I used to, that's for sure. Think I can grind that thing?
Yes.
That. Let's try some small grinds first. Let's go over here. Have you ever even seen me skate? No? Man. I'll try and grind this. We're gonna try the sole plates on these skates. It's been a very long time since I've tried to grind on inline skates, but whew. One more time. I gotta admit, fucking tired. Hey, you wear the same size shoe. You wanna try to get on my skates? Think you could do it? No? Okay. I'd like to attempt to grind that whole thing. What do you think, Cross? You want to put them on a try?
They're too big.
They're too big? Yeah. I think old Dad's just not quite in the same shape that I used to be. If you give me like a good solid afternoon on the skates to reacclimate myself, I feel like I would do okay. Let's go just a little bit more though. Sole plates are nice, but damn, has it been a long time since these feet have touched a curb or a rail. Fantasize about it all the time, but I never put it into action. What are you doing over here? Leland's thinking about trying to drop in himself. Yeah, maybe wait till next time. I will tell you though, dude, I like your enthusiasm. You just went for it. That's how you learn. You got wrist guards and a helmet on. That's all I can ask. I don't think I've dropped into like a bowl or a half pipe in a long time. Oh, this helmet, not gonna work for me. Talk about
having your damn head squeezed off. Back when I used to skate, I wasn't wearing glasses, so I didn't have to worry about them falling off. But now I do. Whole nother thing to worry about. All right. Here's for all the people that were like, if I got these skates, I would never touch them. First scratches. Oh, that used to be a ritual back in the day when I first got skates. Everybody always wanted to do the first grind with them. Well, they're broken in now. I gotta say, they're really nice to ride. I haven't, probably the last couple years that I rode, I was not riding an anti-rocker setup, so they do feel a little weird turning, kind of like stumpy a little bit. But like I said, if I spend a day on them, I'll get used to it. I like them. You guys wanna get some inline skates and go skating? Leland says no. What socks you got on there, dude? I can't see him, put them up here. Ooh, control freak. You a control freak?
I guess so.
I guess so. All right, man. You know, for not having really spent any time on my skates in like, God knows how long, like real time, in at least 20 years, it doesn't feel that bad. It did feel a little bit slippery when I first got on them, but now feeling pretty good. Feel like if I spend just like another day or two, it's only been about 20 minutes, I'm already way out of breath. But you know, another day or two on these things, I'll be back in the groove, man. What do you think, dude? No interest, huh?
Skating?
Yeah. Not a bad skate park though. I feel like the skate park's okay. All right, we gotta go because I gotta go to the bathroom. What do you think, Cross?
That was good.
Yeah?
I can't show you how fast I can get up on that.
Yeah, hang on. Oh, okay, guys. Well, what'd you think? Dad do okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? I'm pretty hot. I'm ready for a drink. Let's go back to the house and analyze things a little bit. But for a first ride in a long time, I thought it felt pretty good. I'm not leaving with any broken bones, and it got a little exercise. Might have to do it again soon. And as the sun goes down on this beautiful Saturday evening, I am feeling a very familiar yet distant feeling, and that is kind of sore. I haven't been on skates in a long time, but I gotta tell you, of all the workouts I've done over the last 25 years, this one felt the best. And maybe it's because it's such a familiar feeling from my childhood. Alexa, turn on the arcade. That, I just love it so much. And you know, I gotta say, I actually really enjoyed being on skates. I think I might actually get my kids a pair of skates and see if they want to hit the skate park once a week. So this has been an unboxing / field demo, dare I say, of the new Them Skates Jet Grind Radio or Jet Set Radio, depending on where you're from. You know, I had a lot of people ask me in the comments of that first video that I made. I think I did refer to the game as Jet Grind Radio, and then at one point referred to the game as Jet Set Radio. And people were like, God, I remember it being called Jet Set Radio. Well, you're right, depending on where you live. So here in North America, it actually first came out as Jet Grind Radio and not Jet Set Radio. In case you don't believe me, see, Jet Grind Radio. And that's because in North America, there was actually already a trademark for Jet Set. So over in Europe and Japan and everywhere else, it was Jet Set Radio, which is why you hear it commonly referred to as Jet Set Radio, but a lot of us Americans call it Jet Grind Radio. Also, I did when I got back home, I was so curious. I couldn't remember what my last pair of inline skates were. And I did find my 2K Fatties, my Fatty Pros, the red ones. They had a broken cuff, but the very last pair of inline skates that I bought before I really stopped skating were actually these Salomon skates, which, to be honest with you, I completely forgot that Salomon even made skates. But they were great skates. I really like these things. Obviously, you can see that I rode on them just a little bit. And then I also did find a pair of rollerblades that I forgot that I had purchased. I don't even remember when or where I bought these. These had a nice like outer soft boot thing. I think these were the TRSs maybe. And then, see? I put Senate liners in them. I don't even remember what year this was. It was probably 10 years ago or so, maybe even longer ago than that. I should look this up. I don't even know if Rollerblade still makes inline skates. And then I also had a couple pairs of Rossi's. I think I had Rossi's Verts. Those are the ones with the metal frames. Couldn't use them on anything other than ramps, basically. But, you know, I was only at that skate park for, you know, I don't know, what were we there, maybe an hour. And by the end of the hour, I actually acclimated to the skates pretty well. And they started feeling pretty good. I really like the sole plates on these. I know that's probably nothing new for people who have been skating a long time, but for me, that's a relatively new advent. As you can see, there's the Solomons, and there's the new ones. Much more sole space on this skate here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool skates. Also, Leland's wearing the same size shoe as me now, so I should see if he wants to wear one, you know, one of my old pairs of skates. And there you have it. That is full circle. Dreamcast, Jet Grind Radio by Sega. If you loved these things and maybe you grew up in the 90s and you were an inline skater, this was absolutely a 10 out of 10 knockout success for this collaboration. 25th anniversary of Jet Set Radio, and I think they could not have celebrated it in a better fashion. The only thing that could have been better is if, you know, Sega wants to put out a new console. That would be cool too. Maybe they should have reissued the game for the 25th anniversary. That'd be cool. But I'll settle for some skates. And I will say, John and folks over at Them Skates, what a fantastic job you did. I love them. And I'm glad that I bought a pair. I'm sort of bummed that I didn't buy more than one pair. I should have bought a couple pair, at least one for my son, but heck, maybe I'll buy Leland a pair of these things. So there you have it. What extreme sport did you partake in the 80s or 90s or early 2000s? Were you a skateboarder? If you were, did you look at my people like we were some weird offshoot of extreme sports that didn't really matter? That's how it felt back then. Fruit booters, right? Is that what we were called? If you enjoy videos like this, I have managed to combine the unboxing with a vlog and a field test. And you can see more of them in videos like this. Or you just want to follow the channel and see what kind of stuff I post. Subscribe right over here somewhere and hit that little bell icon to be notified, or join the Discord, because we have one of those too, and it's in the description below. And until next time, my friends, hopefully when I see you, I won't have a cast, and I will truly be enjoying the journey.